Roman mythology begins with salvation by water. Legend claims the infant twins Romulus and Remus washed ashore on the banks of the Tiber River, sparing them from execution and setting the stage for their rise of a global power. The historical reality was less romantic as the early republic's population exploded. The Tiber, the very river that birthed the city, devolved into a heave. Polluted, hazardous waterway choked by the waste of hundreds of thousands of residents. Increasing demand eventually exhausted local springs and rainwater cisterns. Without an alternative source of fresh water, the sheer density of human life within the city walls created a threat the Republic could not ignore. Military conquest alone could not solve the crisis. While expansion brought land and wealth, it did not provide hydration to survive. Rome had to learn to manipulate regional geology, looking far beyond its own borders for a reliable flowing supply. This topographical map of central Italy shows the scale of the hunt. Roman scouts identified springs deep within the surrounding mountain ranges, plotting routes to bridge the distance between untapped water and the thirsty capital. Bringing that water to the city required a massive logistical effort at its peak. This centralized hydraulic network delivered over 1 million cubic meters of water daily, a volume that provided each resident with roughly 1 cubic meter of fresh water every 24 hours. This pressure forced the transition from a vulnerable tribal settlement to a metropolis of 1 million people. To sustain that growth, Rome launched a construction program that buried 400 kilometers of stone-lined channels. Beneath the Italian landscape, the towering stone arches synonymous with Roman engineering represent the exception, not the rule. Over 90% of the empire's aqueduct network ran underground, hidden from view beneath the soil. Engineers moved water through a pitch-black subterranean labyrinth, carving tunnels directly into the earth to protect the supply and maintain its purity. Cutting through solid volcanic tuff required extreme precision without modern surveying equipment. Roman workers had to maintain a fractional constant gravitational decline over dozens of miles to ensure the water never stopped moving toward the city. This satellite view of Lake Bracciano reveals the ancient source network of the Aqua Traiana. When rising lake levels forced wealthy landowners to abandon shoreline villas, the state appropriated the local water rights. Converting the area into a massive extraction zone, this expansion left a chemical trail across the continent. Archaeologists use anthropogenic lead isotopic signatures to track the growth of this infrastructure, finding distinct metallic traces in the soil of urban centers like Naples where Roman plumbing was most concentrated. These pipes and tunnels allowed Rome to exert standardized imperial control over the landscape. By centralizing the water supply, the state gained a tool of logistical dominance that could support urban populations far larger than the local environment naturally allowed. Mastering subterranean construction for water management provided the expertise needed to expand the city downward, creating a deep structural footprint directly beneath the streets. Modern Rome sits on a vertical column of history. Millennia of silt from Tiber floods and debris from urban fires forced residents to build upward as they stacked new foundations directly on top of the buried ruins of the past. Romans utilized these deep spaces for complex civic functions. Beneath the arena of the Colosseum, the hypogeum functioned as a hidden staging ground using mechanical lifts to bring thousands of exotic animals from their cages to the floor above. Engineers even used the city's plumbing to flood these deep basins by diverting aqueduct water into the arena. They could stage Naumachia massive mock naval battles where warships fought in the middle of the city. This underworld also provided sanctuary. In the volcanic tuff quarries outside the city, early Christians carved miles of corridors into pitch-black catacombs, creating a vast hidden network to bury their dead away from the public. These damp 15-degree cellars were also the setting for the Mithri members of a secretive Persian military cult met in these hidden spaces, conducting their rituals in small cave-like rooms tucked beneath private homes and deep public bathhouses. While the surface monuments of the Roman Empire were designed to impress the public, this subterranean world provided the hardware, the engine room of plumbing, burial, and ritual that allowed the city to function. The dependence on this artificial system became a fatal vulnerability during the siege of Rome in 537 AD. The Gothic army realized that the city could not survive without its imported resources. the invaders systematically severed the 11 great aqueducts outside the city walls by destroying the channels. They cut off the city's water supply and crippled its ability to resist. The result was immediate. Without flowing water, the metropolis of 1 million people collapsed, and the vast subterranean network that had sustained it fell into ruin. The city for centuries ran dry. Over the next 15 centuries, urban debris and silt sealed these tunnels and temples off from the surface. The infrastructure of the empire was effectively erased from the modern map. Today, researchers use the tools of speleoarchaeology to recover these spaces. They rappel into urban sinkholes and navigate forgotten tunnels. To document the city that still exists 30 feet below the modern pavement, these expeditions continue to yield significant finds. Teams have discovered everything from hidden lakes of pure rainwater to imperial monuments that have remained buried in the earth since the fall of the empire. The stone ruins on the surface commemorate the public image of the emperors, but the dark tunnels below are the physical evidence.